Hi everyone, welcome back to Vola TV. I'm delighted this week to be joined again by Matthew Boyle, our head teacher, and by Joanne Sutherland, our teacher of PE and dance. Hello, Joanne. Hi,
Morning,
Matthew.
guys. I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Great morning, both of you. It's lovely to be here with you in Vola TV again. This is becoming a fun habit.
Absolutely. Lovely to see you both. Thanks for joining us today. So let's start off with maybe an update on reopening. And I know that everyone's really keen to understand what's going to happen next and when it's going to happen. And whilst we don't have all of the answers, we will endeavour on the programme every week to try and give some sort of an update. So is there anything that you can tell our viewers this week, Mr. Boyle, that maybe brings us along a wee bit from where we were last week?
Oh, thank you for my Sunday title there. Yes, I mean, first of all, people should be reassured that we are planning to restart school life in August. As we said last week, we know that people will have nervousness about that. You know, that's been the nature of our lockdown experience nationally for a wee while. But it is definitely time to get people back into school. We've done a great job of having people learning online. We're very proud of what we've done in Vale Academy. I think our use of Google Classroom for homework, etc., placed us really well to ramp up quickly and to have things ready and in place literally the Monday after the Friday shutdown. You know, we had a significant amount of instant activity, which we've built on, and we'll talk a bit about that today. But it's still important that for many people who find that harder to access at home, that they're going to get some more face time with teachers and even peers to help them learn in school. So what we're doing just now is we're working with the local authority, who are in turn working with government, to just establish some guidelines and norms. And over the next 3 weeks, we'll be working on that. The management team in Vale Academy have been in physically for the first time in a wee while altogether. And we've been walking the floor, I suppose. You know, we've been taking measuring tapes and doing what all businesses are doing just now, and figuring out how we can fit people in safely and make sure that we don't bite off more than we can chew. That we're putting out clear guidelines and agreeing them with the council. That will mean that much smaller, many fewer students will be in classes, and they'll only be in for a part of the time. So we don't have the answers yet. We'll be bringing them to you on Vola TV, I'm sure, over the next few weeks before the summer holidays. But people that are watching the news will know that in Wales just now, who we should remember have different summer holidays, they're a good few weeks behind us. They're looking to reopen with perhaps only a third of students coming in. There has been talk, some places like Glasgow, of half of students going in some schools. We're also looking at possible models with only a quarter. Will be dictated by the measurements we make and the health and safety guidance. So parents should be really reassured about that. The numbers that we have in and the rota we make up will be the most time we can get in school for students safely in the next phase of lockdown as it relaxes, and no more. So whatever the number we come up with it'll be for safety. But we'll be continuing our online provision anyway. So there's going to be a blend, and we'll gradually try and ease that back into normal school life as the government allows. So next steps to follow shortly, but be assured we're working on it.
And it sounds like the watchword there, Matthew, is safety. It's really all about making sure that when students come back to school and when teachers come back to school, that everyone is as safe as possible.
Absolutely, that's the thing I want parents to be aware of. You know, we care deeply about learning. Learning is to live. You know, it's what drives you through your life, and we want our young people to have a love of it and to have great skills in learning. But ultimately, they've got to be safe first, and that's what we're about.
Great. Okay, thank you. Moving on, we've also got quite an exciting bit of news about a social enterprise competition that's coming up quite soon.
Yes, this is from our own wonderful Miss Dennison, who's running a Dragon's Den style of competition. And there's a great prize, apparently. I can't wait to see what this is. So during lockdown, we know that people's requirements and habits have changed. And she's wanting to know, has this change caused you to think up a new need or product which would help us through these trying times? I'm going to enter this competition. I've thought of a few ideas, let me tell you. So this is the task for people who think like we do. So there's a link that we'll point out to people. Participants can be small groups or individuals. That's interesting. And the link that we'll publicise will take you to a landing page for the competition, where videos can be seen on tips and ideas on how to get started and how to do it. And clicking on the dragon itself will take you to the terms and conditions and submission page. This has got a submission deadline of Friday the 12th of June. So I think that sounds like a really exciting opportunity. What ideas have you thought up recently, Mr. Wright or Miss Sutherland? What have you come up with that you thought you wish someone had invented for the lockdown?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
putting you on the
I'm just
spot,
glad
isn't
that
it?
someone had invented the internet before the lockdown. I think that's. I think without that, we would have been struggling without Netflix and Amazon Prime.
Yeah, that would be good indeed. I suppose some better way of delivering groceries would be good as well. A business idea around that would be great, wouldn't it? Sort of, a micro delivery model. I keep thinking it'd be good if there was a sort of local delivery person who was taking much smaller payments for delivering, but just constantly, bringing the kind of daily or the 2 or 3 day shops to people. I think that would be a totally winning idea. In fact, who knows? Those sort of businesses might pop up. Miss Dennison, I hope you're listening. I want to be one of the front runners with my entry.
You're just tempted with that prize, aren't you, Matthew?
Oh yeah. Does it say what the prize is? I don't see it on the
It doesn't. No,
information I've
no. It
got.
doesn't tell us what the prize is. But the submission deadline is Friday the 12th of June. So get your skates on for that. You've got a week to get those ideas into motion and to get those submitted. So it'll be really interesting to see what people come up with.
Fantastic.
Moving on, we've got another update about online learning, and I know that some terrific things are happening at the minute across the school. We got an update earlier this week from social subjects, where we're hearing about really, really nice things that are happening in modern studies and history. And I know that Aileen Drysdale appeared in the programme last week and spoke passionately about the work that they're doing in maths and the really cool things that are coming out of the new learning platform in maths. But I think we've got a wee bit of an update about technical and their home learning section that they're putting in place.
Yeah, this is the weekly spot when I get very excited because I just think this is wonderful. Have you guys had a chance to look over the technology home learning webpage?
Yeah, absolutely terrific. It really is.
It's absolutely wonderful, wonderful. The technology department have put all of their subjects in a home learning webpage. You'll find it on our school website. Just go to technology and you drill down in that, and you'll find it there. It's beautifully presented. There are a lot of great designers within our technology team, and it shows it's a marvelously designed website. It works beautifully on a mobile phone as well. I think I'm using an old-fashioned term there, aren't I? Showing my age. It just resizes perfectly. Every course has got all of the homeworks that have been given recently on the Google Classroom, and this is the thing that excites me so much, plus a little bit more. So if you've finished and you're saying to mums, dads, or carers, oh, I've run out of work and I like the technology work. No, you haven't. Go into the home learning hub and you will find other work. But that's not enough. What you really have to get excited about is the quality of the work. You look at this stuff and you think they've got this philosophy in the technology team just now. They're trying to tie a lot of their home learning around this idea of what was the phrase they use, Barry?
It's a built environment, isn't it? And
It's the built environment,
and really, yeah.
But they've got that other phrase, haven't they, about engineering through the ages? What is it?
Design through the ages.
It's not that, but it's something like design through the ages, and it's all about the idea that they're looking at the real environment around us, real buildings, real places that would excite you. They're even in partnership with a company who do international, architecture and design for buildings, and our young people in second year in particular through the design engineer construct course. Are getting to work with some of these architects who working on bridges and absolutely massive blue chip buildings around the world for real. And you see this in the home learning hub. A lot of the tasks are about how you would design a restaurant, how you design a cinema, and what are the standards that you use for making the drawings. And honestly, it's stellar work. It's absolutely stellar work. So I would urge any parent who's got a youngster there, or even just interested yourself, it's that good, who sees themselves going into the design or engineering or technologies, sort of field, particularly around, big engineering and big building design. This is fabulous. And the last fun little thing they've got is within it, you'll also find a little section they call the Tech Flicks section, because they are just a barrel of laughs in our technology team. And it's a little collation that points you to lots of great technology programs. Because one of the things I would say, regardless of the subject or even the age, that you can do as a parent to help your child learn is get them to watch good television. It amazes me how much wonderful TV there is out there for young people to learn. Authoritative, engaging, exciting TV that teaches you amazing things. And yet, let's be honest, it's like the difference between good wholemeal food and sweeties. Kids will often want to watch rubbish on TV, and one of the great things you can do as a parent, you don't need to know everything, but you can say, no, get that off. You're going to watch a science program instead, or you're going to watch something about the universe, or you're going to watch something about dance, Joanne, or something that teaches you, some skills or opens your mind a little bit, So this is just wonderful stuff. I absolutely love it, and I utterly recommend that every parent that's interested gets themselves onto the Vola Technologies Home Hub website.
Great. Thank you, Matthew. And there's a real focus in the application of skills there. It's about putting into practice what you're learning. It's not just theoretical, it's real life examples.
Absolutely. And they're really keen about, some of them even being based in the Vale of Leven itself, that we care about the environment that we work and that our students live in, so a lot of the work is about improving that and developing and making it more inspiring. So it's tremendous.
Terrific. Another really big celebration of great work. One of our students, Belle Sorrell, has been working hard to produce a newsletter. I think we're in the third edition of it now, called Read Feed. And I know you want to say something about that, Matthew.
Well, yeah, but you've heard a lot of my voice, so I'm going to I'll say a few things, and then I'd love to hear your view. Your listeners should know that, of course, you are an English teacher, Barry, so I'm sure they'll welcome your view. But this is the Read Feed. This is the newsletter that's been produced by the English department, and Belle is an editor, isn't she, in it, or
she is, the leading contributor? Yeah, she is.
This is I'm going to gush again here. Sorry, it's terrible to have a gushy presenter, but it's brilliant. You would read this as a keen reader. This tells you great things about what to read and gives great insights, and it's beautifully written. It's actually gorgeous to read. It's written in very simple language, but actually very elegant, lovely language, and Belle's own language in this. Honestly, she's a journalist or a writer in the making. What wonderful work. I'll just pick one thing from it that I'm going to say before passing over to you, Barry, or Joanne. It has something that everyone's going to want to know. It's got Mrs. Tyndall's favourite reading in it. She's done an interview within it. And again, it's not only of interest to people that know the school or know Mrs. Tyndall. It's great advice about how to get into reading as a young person, and some lovely examples of books that she has read and loved. And they're now giving away no secret and saying, turns out she's a big fan of the fantasy technology genre as well as the classics. So who knew she was big on? Was it Jack Ryan? If I get the right name. Yeah. So she reads this Tom Clancy stuff. Yeah. Who knew?
Tom Clancy stuff. Yeah.
Listen, that's only one of the many revelations in here. Get a copy of this, and it's on our website. You can download it.
Is, yeah.
Wonderful work. Yeah. What do you think, Barry?
Absolutely fantastic. I just think, the work that Belle's put into this, but also the work that Lisa McEwen and Lisa Hughes in the English department have put in, is just absolutely fantastic. But it does two things for me. It's high quality, and it shows you the kind of quality that young people can produce when they're really focused and passionate about something. But it also really reaffirms our school's position on the importance of reading, and reading is just so important. And actually, I know Joanne in PE, and I've spoken to yourself about this before, and I've spoken to other PE teachers about it. Actually, young people who are good readers, they're not just good at English. They're good at PE. They can access content in PE and dance and that sort of thing. I'm not sure, has that been your experience as well, Joanne?
Yeah, I absolutely loved that piece. If Bill's watching it, hats off, Bill. I thought that was absolutely wonderful. Like Mr. Boyle said, journalists in the making. It was absolutely fantastic. But yeah, even from small things, even if it is just reading that article to start you off before picking up a book, or if it's just picking up a small one of your favourite stories, as opposed to something more challenging or more educational. Even the small things can massively help, and particularly we do see that in PE and dance as well, that the writing within these subjects is so much better if you have a good sort of knowledge and understanding and a good concept of being able to read something very, very well. So yeah, I think it's hugely important.
Brilliant, thanks, John. And could I just add one last thing from that, because there's a lovely page, I think it's the third page in the newsletter, where it's inspirational. But actually, two things I'm going to add. There's a wee bit about inspirational book quotations, and I thought two of them really speak to us just now when we're on lockdown. First one from Divergent by Veronica Roth, and it is that fear doesn't shut you down, it wakes you up. And I think that's absolutely brilliant, because there's a lot at the moment that we can be a wee bit fearful of when we're stuck at home, and we can't see our friends, we can't see our families as much as we'd like to, and we're working remotely. It is different, and change can sometimes make us a wee bit fearful. So I really like that. But also another great bit about what we're doing, if you like, as teachers, and this certainly speaks to me. But children are the living messages we send to a time we will not see. I think that's absolutely wonderful, and it kind of ties back in a wee bit to some of the stuff that we were talking about earlier with the technology department. The built environment, it's things that you create that will be there long after we are. And actually, that's what education is about. It's about leaving something that will be there long after we are as well. So I just think it's a wonderful read. And I know we've said it a couple of times already, but well done, Belle. Absolutely terrific.
Yeah, and I think the takeaway message that I would just be unable to resist saying is, you want Vale Leven Academy to the best school anywhere, make sure that our kids read more than kids do anywhere. So that old lament that all parents have, and I do it myself with my own daughter sometimes. Oh God, I don't know how to do this stuff. This is that's too complex. It's something that's not my field of expertise. Doesn't matter. The thing that gives 90% of all of the improvement to your kids is get them to read. Just turn off the television for half an hour, get a book, get a magazine, read. That's it. Simple as that.
Good advice, absolutely. I know also, Joanne, you want to give us a wee bit of an update today on Student Voice.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll start with giving a sort of view from the previous year. So obviously Student Voice is a hugely valuable initiative that we have and are currently embedding within Vale of Leven Academy. So the focus on last year was kind of building up Student Voice to be hugely embedded and working alongside teachers and staff to make students' voices heard, because that is of utmost importance in any school, is listen to the students' voices, your opinions as well. So our elected class reps, two class reps from each class, last year attended a conference where they had lots of discussions with each other, with the senior pupil leadership team as well, thinking about any concerns that they had, any opinions, any ideas that they would want to implement in the school driving forward. Following this conference, pupils were all split up into different subgroups, which tied in very, very closely with our teacher working groups based around the school improvement plan. So it was a real kind of collaboration between teachers and staff to get the students' voices heard a lot more in helping us drive our school development forward, which was absolutely wonderful. All of the students that I've spoken to said they felt it helped them immensely, and they were able to have a platform to share their opinions, their ideas, and those of other students as well with their elected reps. So something that came as a direct result of that from last session was our new schools behaviour policy. Something that both teachers and students alike had realised was a barrier to effective learning and teaching was the current behaviour policy that was in. It wasn't quite strong enough, it wasn't quite working effectively. However, after speaking to a lot of the students of getting their ideas and things that they would like to see, consequences that they feel would be fair to them, we were able to come up with a new behaviour policy, which was launched just after Christmas. in the last session. So all of this has kind of been overseen as well by our student senior pupil leadership team. So our S5s and S6s who were involved directly in these subgroups in helping guide the conversations and speaking to pupils, giving them a little bit more reassurance as well. Often in S1 and S2, you get really excited about some ideas and you want like a rocket ship in the school and stuff like that. Obviously, that's not quite feasible, but our senior pupils were very good in kind of bringing them back to reality and thinking, right, we can't quite have a rocket ship, but what could we have that would be realistic to our school setting, which was absolutely brilliant. Which brings me on to our next point, is that earlier this week, the application process for the coming session 2020-2021 has opened. So anyone in S5 and S6, please check your emails, because there's been an email sent out that will link you to the application process for that. If you don't have an email or you can't find it, then please email myself or Fiona Palin or Emma Webber, and we'll be able to point you in the right direction. In these times, more than ever, I think it's very important to have a strong pupil leadership team to help give us ideas and opinions of how the school is working, of what things are going well, what's not going so well, to keep us together and to bring that sense of community. So we are really enthusiastic to get a very, very good senior pupil leadership team together. It's a fantastic opportunity. So just to get the S5s and S6 to check their inbox and get applying for that.
Brilliant. And really two things that just jumped out of that at me. One, you talked about positive relationships policy. It was developed last year, and I guess that's a huge part of what we are as a school. There's nothing more important than the relationships that we all have with one another, and that includes all of the stakeholders in the school. But it kind of goes further than that, doesn't it? Because students have actually got a voice in how the school's being run, and it's a genuine voice, and it links into school improvement, to self-evaluation, and it's a really, really important part of what we take forward, isn't it, John?
Yeah, absolutely. Students are obviously, they spend the majority of their younger life at school, and it's important that they have somewhere that they feel safe, they feel included, they feel like their ideas are being listened to. If they just feel that stuff's being drilled into them, or they're being told what to do all the time without being able to express how they feel about it, or any ideas that they might have or opinions on that, then nothing's going to go forward. If they feel that they've got a very good working relationship with staff members, and they know that they can bring their ideas and opinions forward, and that these will be considered and listened to and put into action, then I think it just enhances the general community of the school, as well as teaching and learning across all platforms in the school.
There's been a long criticism of student voice or pupil voice, whatever you want to call it, in schools, that it's been around issues that aren't important to the core running of the school. So it's been, where will we put the litter bins, or how can we do school recycling? It's things that are peripheral to the learning and teaching and all that. Are you seeing that the young people that are involved in this are now becoming upskilled, to be knowledgeable partners with the staff in the school?
Yeah, definitely. I think linking in with the school improvement and creating pupil working groups based on the sort of main drivers of the school improvement plan has been hugely beneficial, and pupils have seen that, which part of the canteen do we put the litter bins in, probably isn't the biggest issue within the school. And I think it also helps them understand from a teacher's point of view that you can't just change something at the click of your fingers. They were involved in the process of the new positive relationships policy that was obviously launched. They saw the work that went into that. They saw all the decisions that had to be made before that was launched. And I think that's really important. I think for them, they saw like everything, the bigger scale of things that often students don't see on decisions that teachers make within school. So I think having that understanding also kind of allows that the mutual respect. They see that teachers maybe, they're not doing this just because they want to shout at us. There's a reason behind why they're doing it, and there's a lot of other factors that come into play when something's happening within a school. So I think it has sort of broadened their view on what the school improvement priorities are and why, as opposed to just being, we don't like that litter bin there, we want to change the place. So kind of having a steering them in the direction of what the school improvement is, and what as teachers we see needs to be changed, involving them within those discussions kind of opens their mind a little bit and allows them to look at things in a kind of broader sense, which we've only seen positive things from. And I think it's brilliant.
It's great work. Brilliant. It's really exciting. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Joanne. Thank you. So all that's left now is just a reminder. Again, as I say every week, we remain open for business. I know that the school building is physically closed. However, we do remain open for learning. Please get in touch if there are any issues, any concerns, any ideas that you want to share with us. You can contact us via the school website or by phone the school telephone number. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you so much for joining me this week, Joanne and Matthew.
Thanks, Barry. Thanks, Joanne.